Brian Metro, trimmer on board Alinghi Red Bull Racing. Light to medium wind, very choppy sea. You're out with both boats continuing your race training. How was it out there?
It was a tough day outside, a lot of wave and pretty light wind, but we learned a lot today, really interesting.
What is the most to learn on a day like this?
I think it's playing with the setting, with the sails and the care and the ride height. A lot to do with those conditions.
So how do you play with the trimming of the boat in these conditions? Are you more conservative?
You have to it's difficult because you have to find a way to sail the boat and don't crash. But sometimes it's just by pushing to the limit that you go fast and easy.
See, in a few of the starts, it looked like there was a pretty big gap between the two boats. We haven't got a countdown, but how was your time and distance?
Yes, today was harder because it's easy to fall from the foil during the pre-start, so it's why sometimes we had big gap between both boats.
It looks like the pitch of the boat is a lot more flat, the foil arms more vertical. Have you got to be a lot more dynamic when trimming the boats in these waves to get the most out of?
Yeah, sure. We're playing a lot with the can, the ride height, the pitch, especially downwind when it's quite hard to go with the wave.
And how are you trimming the sails? What's the difference in your setup?
I think just make sure that you have enough power, so keep some depth in the sails to
And how are you making your tactical decisions? Is communication between all four of you on the boat, just the helms, or anyone on leeward, or just one person? How is it?
So when the boat is locked, we just focus on the tactics. So all the four we are communicating about it on the wing, the next shift, what's coming next.
And how do you time your tacks and jibes when there are other boats around you? At the moment, you've just got two boats on the water, but in Vilanova you'll have many more.
Yeah, I think it's the biggest issue with the wave is that you don't choose. When racing with another boat, you don't choose all the time where you attack on jibe, and it's what makes difficult with the wave.
Is this something you've been practicing on a simulator? Multiple boats on a course, introducing waves into the simulator?
Well, I can't speak about the sim.
And how far in advance do you make decisions on, for example, which side of the gate to round or which side of the course to sail?
Yeah, we speak all the time about it. So when you get closer to a cross or contact, we speak about it. When you go closer to the gate, you speak about the mark, which one is closer, and speak all the time about the wind.
How much time do you spend looking at footage from other teams? And what are you most interested in? What are you really looking out for when you're looking at other content, analyzing your competitors?
I think we're looking about the setting, how they sail the boat, and especially how they use the boat during maneuver.
How did you like the day so far up there?
Yeah, it was an awesome day. We had a pretty good wind to start with, probably like 8 knots and pretty unstable. And also some really nice sea state, and throughout the day it picked up steadily out of the east. So we finished with 15 knots and nice waves, so great day.
We saw that you did 5 practice races today. You had some difficulties approaching the bottom mark. It was because of the confusing sea state?
Yeah, definitely the waves were quite big today, and when you're in a race scenario, things just become a bit harder. The boat's a bit harder to boat handle, and yeah.
Do you think that if you were sailing with the stock foils instead of the LEQ, you would have the same cavitation problems today with the choppy that we had?
Yeah, I mean, for sure we had the stock foils out there today as well, and it proved to be just as difficult. So, it's just the sea state makes foiling hard.
Okay. Is there a team in which you are focusing more in their development rather than others?
Not really. I think everyone looks really good, and we're trying to push as hard as we can. So.
Okay. In your opinion, who will be the top boats who will contest in the match racing in Vilanova?
Well, hopefully American Magic, but yeah, you know, the Kiwis are looking really good, and so are the Italians from the last time we saw them on the water. So, but everyone is looking fast. You know, we're just focusing on ourselves at the moment.
Ben Ainsley, you were steering on starboard on T6 today, a T6 only day. What were the objectives when you left the dock this morning?
We're just really trying to get out there and figure out how to sail this boat in these conditions. And a day like today, you saw, was pretty rough, but not untypical for Barcelona. So we just got to figure out systems, control of the boat, and so on. So it was a good learning day.
We saw a little nosedive, not even a nosedive, and some damage to the jib, blew the back off the jib. Has the jib become the fuse now on these boats, do you think?
Looks that way, doesn't it? We have some of these big bow down moments, big nosedives. Huge amount of pressure, of course, going into the boats, and obviously the jibs as well. So they seem to take a bit of a pummeling, and we lost our J2 and had to switch to the J3. But actually, the breeze came up a little bit later on, so it was fine, and we were still able to get through the day and tick off our testing list.
We've got a couple of days of AC40 sailing coming up with the other teams involved. Is there a focus now within the team, within the sailors, just talking about the playbook for Vilanova, for AC40s? Have you started to switch to that kind of mentality?
It's really interesting because, of course, we want to sail well in the AC40 and we want to compete well in Vilanova and then later on in the year in Jeddah, but at the same time it doesn't really have any impact on the performance of the big boat for the Cup. So of course there'll be a focus, next couple of days will be a good opportunity to line up against some of the other teams. I think we saw from the previous testing days or training days that we did, it's pretty clear which teams to spend more time in the AC40 than others. So certainly from our perspective we feel like we've got a bit of catching up to do, but that's a good challenge for the sailing team. Meanwhile the technical team and the shore team here primarily focus on T6, our test boat, and then of course a very keen eye on some decisions and the manufacturing process for the race boat.
One Design Racing, often the pin is the place to be at the start line. What did you manage to learn from the short bit of fleet racing we did last week?
Well, from the short bit of fleet racing we did last week, we learned that the pin wasn't the place to be because that's where we were. So I think there's some interesting dynamics of sailing these foiling boats in lighter airs, and certainly fleet racing starts in lighter airs, and really it's just more about having plenty of speed and plenty of charge in the battery, as we say, rather than necessarily where you are in a line too much. And that then changes, of course, when you get more breeze. So it'll be really fascinating. It'd be great to see these boats lined up, fleet racing on, coming this weekend, and then into Vilanova. Great spectacle and good for the Cup. And you can see around the harbour here, starting to build up with all of the team spaces coming together. The exhibition centre next to our base. I haven't seen it, but by all accounts, it's a very good exhibition, and a lot of interest in the Cup in general. So it's good to see.